This is Constantine Constantinidis, and this is my application, the Sudoku solver. So this is the initial screen you see when you open the application, and it shows an empty grid, a 9x9 grid, and 9 buttons per cell to select options. If the user were to enter his own puzzle to solve, he can enter options here. Right now I am taking a puzzle from the Telegraph, which is one of the hardest published Sudoku puzzles. And as you can see, as I'm pressing the buttons, the button I pressed becomes larger and changes color as well to distinguish between a selected and a non-selected. And let's say I made a mistake, for example, as in here, let's say I put in a 2 and an 8 and I didn't want those. I can press previous and then enter the correct options for the puzzle I want to do. And here we have our initial puzzle. And press that button, and now I can, provide a hint for myself. I can, it'll give me the next choice, the next available option. I could go back from this. I can go next, the last instance of the matrix, and then to the previous instance of the matrix. And I can also show hints. Here we have naked pairs highlighted in orange. We have a hidden single here, and I can click on these as well. And here I could click something correct, or let's say click 6 as well, and it'll tell me that I've made a wrong choice. Now, as I'm solving this, if I were to solve it without any, without the hints, as in I can take off the available choices and have it like an empty grid. Well, not an empty. Have it so that you can't see the choices and can't see the hints as well. And if I click on this, I can, click the correct option or the incorrect option. And if I click the incorrect option, it won't tell me. And I can, continue solving until I find a mistake, as you would do with a regular Sudoku. Or I can click the correct option. And nothing incorrect there because then it's correct. And I continue solving from there. And eventually, once you start finishing the puzzle, the cell count will go down per choice. The unsolved cell count will go down, and I can finish the puzzle myself here. Once I've finished it, it'll tell me, "Congratulations, Sudoku solved." This button here will let me load a puzzle from our database, where we have 90 different puzzles split into 3 sections based on their difficulty. We have difficulty level 0, 1, and 2. Let's load a difficulty level 0 puzzle. Load another one. I can show my hints here to help me solve it. Provide a hint, previous, next, solve it. Go to a harder puzzle, load these, hints, solve, previous. And what's good to know is once you press solve and see the solved puzzle, I can press previous and go straight back to the original state I was in before I pressed the puzzle. And this button here will allow me to clear the matrix completely and go back to the initial state, which is an empty grid. And then I can also turn this off. And what's good to know is when the show available choices is off, and I click a cell, it'll show me then the buttons I can press. Here, so 6, 1, 8. And this allows the user to enter their initial grid and enter their choices once they've started solving. Clear that. And let's say I've started entering the correct choice. And then we'll put an incorrect choice here, for example. Let's say I'd wanted to save this instance and come back to it at a later date. I can press Save Current Puzzle. Note that it also has mistakes in it as well. I can save this. I can clear. And I can close the application and then open it again. As shown here. And I can load that puzzle. And I can go previous, I can go back to the mistakes I made, I can go next. Show the options here. I can solve it, provide a hint, and I can then go back to the previous one if I press load puzzle again, as that instance of the puzzle has been saved. I can also choose to print the puzzle, this option, and a dialog box comes up to select the printer and then print your puzzle. Finally, I can exit the puzzle using this button here. And yeah, that's my Sudoku puzzle. I'm glad you enjoyed.